So, on the 26th of June 2017, Pedro Ruiz was shot and killed by his girlfriend Mona Lisa Perez. But why and how did this happen? Perhaps some of you already know this story, but to put it simply, it was a stunt gone wrong, and this event would turn out to be the worst prank ever to grace the YouTube platform. This is the story of Pedro Ruiz and Mona Lisa Perez. Don't forget to smash like and subscribe if you enjoy listening to my words. Cheers! Pedro Ruiz was the 22-year-old partner of Mona Lisa Perez, a small-time YouTuber boasting just under 1,800 subscribers at the time of the event. Pedro had high hopes for Mona's growing channel, but at the time they were nothing more than, in their own words, a family channel highlighting the life of a young couple who happened to be teen parents. Pedro played the role of the young father figure on Mona's channel and didn't spend too much time in the spotlight within the content. As time went on and as the channel became larger, Pedro was seemingly more engaged in the content, but he had different ideas than just being a simple PG family friendly channel. Pedro had a more extreme side to him, or so he says. So he strikes up this idea to film stunts with the help of Mona Lisa, his girlfriend and owner of the channel. Doing this would give him an instant audience to jump on and perform these stunts he has in mind. The types of pranks and stunts at the start of their journey to a wider audience were very tame to say the least. Hiding chilies in a sandwich and baby powder covered over a donut, to name a couple of so-called pranks. Even to 2016 standards, you would call these tame. Pedro hatched an idea to pull the content into a wildly different direction and away from the family-friendly image Mona Lisa had strived to create thus far. He came up with the most wild idea to date. On the 26th of June 2017, Pedro began recording his first and last stunt. The idea was simple. He would ask his partner Mona Lisa to take a .50 caliber handgun known as the iconic Desert Eagle, especially seeing he had the classic COD 4 10th Prestige Gold Edition. Mona would then proceed to shoot into a book with a hard cover, hoping that a bullet from the world's most powerful handgun wouldn't penetrate through and strike Pedro. This idea had already been tested by Pedro previously before filming this video to apparent success. During the lead up to the stunt, although the full video was never released to the public for obvious reasons, a transcript of the conversation between Mona and Pedro can be found on the internet. The transcript is quite harrowing in places. You can tell that Mona wasn't fully on board with this idea. Here is a couple of lines. Pedro starts with, "Hey, this is the moment of truth, babe." Mona is crying. Pedro, "I trust." Mona continues to cry. "It's in, Kay. I love you," Pedro says. Further along the conversation, Mona, "I can't do it, babe. I'm so scared. My heart is beating out of." Pedro, "Mine is too." Pedro, "Come on." Mona replies, "Babe, if I kill you, what's going to happen to my life? Like, no, this isn't okay. I don't want to be responsible." Pedro replies, "You won't be, as long as you hit the book." Mona, "Stop, babe, stop, babe." What happened after Mona Lisa fired the bullet? Well, it was a direct hit on the target. She hit the book dead on, but the bullet didn't stop where Pedro predicted. Instead, the bullet continued through the hardcover book and pierced Ruiz's abdomen and led to severe internal damage. Presumably, the cause of death would have been internal bleeding and eventually bleeding out, as well as a possible strike to a vital organ. Mona Lisa, in a panic, called the emergency services and said he wanted to see if I could shoot his gun in a book, and it went and shot him, and it's all on recording. Perez continued, "Oh my god, he's going to die." By the time the emergency services had arrived, Ruiz was already dead and visibly blue, as Mona says. So what happened after this shocking event? With such a prevalent stunt hitting the internet, even with ending disaster, this managed to push the channel into virality. Kind of. The channel hit it over 30,000 subscribers by the end of the following year, 2018. Mona Lisa did continue to upload vlogs, challenges, and had even found a new boyfriend. Looking back on this content, you wouldn't even suspect that this was the same person that ended a loved one's life just a year earlier. Before we get into that, let's look at the legalities she would ultimately have to face. Cases like these are generally fairly complex. There was of course evidence to show it was not intentional and to show it was clearly wasn't her idea in the first place, but she did pull the trigger and ultimately ended Pedro's life prematurely. According to the sentencing, if it were to go to trial, Mona Lisa could face up to 10 years for second-degree manslaughter, but given the circumstances she came off easy. Her official sentencing landed her with a 6-month jail sentence, which was served, a prohibition from holding any firearms for the rest of her life, and a 10-year probation order. But back over on YouTube, Mona Lisa would never escape the the situation. On the 31st of July 2018, she uploaded the infamous "Something to Say" video, which unfortunately has been lost to the depths of the internet. She pretty much confronted the situation and told her audience her future plans on the platform. She chose to carry on creating. Every upload was spammed with dislikes, comments constantly about the event, and a refusal of acceptance from a large portion of the community. Not to say that she didn't have supporters, but in these situations the hate always outweighs the good. In late 2019, the Mona Lisa and Fam channel was terminated by YouTube. This was due to a hacking incident which saw the channel upload 9,000 videos in one go. So what has Mona Lisa Perez been up to since 2019 to present day? Mona Lisa Perez has been a pretty busy girl when it comes to running channels. She's still fairly active to this day. Currently, she has 2 channels in her name, one of which she co-runs with her new fiance, Tyler Blake. The channel is called People Being People. On this channel is more of a podcasting type of content, long form conversations either with guests or just with her and Tyler. These videos are kind of along the lines of self-help and or in the line of the profession of the guest at the time. The last upload to this channel was 7 months ago, leading me to believe it may be dead or just taken a long break. The channel has 706 subscribers from the time of recording. The other channel she runs is her personal channel, Mona Lisa Perez, where she again released a new chapter video on the 29th of July 2021, 4 years after the event. This video wasn't particularly well received. For instance, "Crazy how you can easily start a new chapter, lol. How is it possible that a person murdered someone still has a YouTube channel? Can you review the Lord of the Rings books and the Desert Eagle?" Okay, that last one's a little bit savage. "Even after the dust settles, people never forget." Mona Lisa hasn't found massive success in her new endeavours, as the channel sits on just 748 subscribers, which for a channel of my size is kind of odd to be punching up, so to speak. But anyway, the content beyond her new chapter video is mostly about self-help again, and sometimes straying into the creative arts genre under her Conversations with Mona series. Shortly after, she started another podcast style series called the Girl Chat Mukbang Podcast, where she also talks about similar things but now with a guest. The views she pulls in on these do vary, from 2.8k being the highest to 353 being the lowest. From what I can see, I don't think she's making any money from these yet. Tyler and Mona have also been building a clothing brand called Wake, which is predominantly aimed towards women and so far has only had herself and Tyler working on it. Tyler was previously a dancer before starting the brand. I've been trying to find out the sales numbers of the store but didn't manage to find any reliable sources. The brand is fairly prevalent on social media, even alluding to a possible event in 2023 at the Icon Event Hall, which is somewhere in the USA I've never heard of. Anyway, despite what Mona has been through, she seems to be carrying on with her life no matter what. Do you think she deserves to move on, or is she out of line? Thanks for watching, and please do not forget to smash like and subscribe if you enjoy listening to my words. Bye bye.